Predictable is a great text-to-speech app with lots of flexibility. And here we've got the basic interface, and you can already see as we start, I've got a little bit of bubble prediction there. And the idea with bubble prediction is it's in line, or as I type, oops, but you can see I'm still having these problems, and I'm looking for my keys somewhere else. As I type, I get in line. Still having problems though, right? Now I keep using this delete key, but if I'm having problems like that, I can also go to their little garbage can and say, hey, let's delete those words that I didn't want. And that already is helping me speed up a little bit. So let's go back. Actually, let's just delete it all. And let's try this again. As I type. Now, where did the rest of my punctuation go? There we go. Now, it already jumped in when I put a punctuation mark. It completed by thinking it knows what I want to say. So it's already telling me a little bit about what might be there. And if I space, it'll fill in what's been suggested there. And again, I still haven't quite got what I wanted. And I've got to watch my spacing. So I've got to watch again what it's filling in for me. Now I might say, you know what? I don't like, it keeps making too many mistakes for me. I'm going to go in and change my word prediction and say, I don't really like how this is working for me. I like maybe the bubble one, but you know what? I think I might go back to the strip again, because that's kind of having problems with. And this 2-word thing doesn't quite work for me, and neither does that auto completion, but I do like having a spell check. Now, let's go with it this way. As I type, I get some words. Oops, and I bumped that keyboard again, and now I've got this thing that says write something. I get some words. Well, let's try that. Oh, how about that? But now I don't get my spaces on this, so let's get rid of that. But I do get access to this kind of writing tool. Now, why are we going to use this writing tool? Well, in some cases, maybe you've got somebody who just needs some basic assistance with this and really likes to take a lot of advantage of the prediction. So now let's go get rid of all this stuff. I'm going to delete everything, and I'm going to go back to my regular keyboard, but let's think about, what if I went back to this prediction again, and I said, you know what, let's go back to this bubble, and let's turn on some autocomplete, and let's make it a larger bubble, and I'm going to try some of this again, and now I'm going to use that along with my writing here. stuck with this side. And I'll go back to my writing, and maybe I have something like, and I'm trying to remember Bill, and I'm having a little trouble with his name, and I'm writing Bill, and maybe that works out, but maybe it doesn't. And so then I try again, and I'll say Bill. Okay, Bill. But now this two-word thing still isn't working for me, so I'll go back in, and I'm going to look at my prediction again and say, some of this was okay, but I really think I only want one word, and I don't know if I want you to autocomplete that for me. So we'll clear that out. And now I have a chance to type things here. And that's kind of working okay for me, but I'm not really loving everything about it, so I go back in, and my things that I've got here, I'm going to go back to one-word prediction, and the bubble prediction seems to want to do phrases and sentences, so maybe I'll go back to this sort of deal. Oh, and I keep bumping into the space bar. I keep bumping that writing button. And so now I might say, you know what? This keyboard, that space bar is so small, and my thumb keeps hitting it. I wonder, could I use a different keyboard? And the answer is yes, you can. So here I've got access to a number of different keyboards, and I can show these to you. So I have an A, B, C, D layout here, a high frequency one where the most frequently occurring letters are in the top row of the keyboard, and then as we move down we get to less frequently occurring ones. I can do a 10-key keyboard, which allows me to get a couple letters, and then when I press again, then I get A, B, C, D, E spread out for me, and so by 2 hits I can kind of get to letters. So if I don't quite have the dexterity to get individual letters, I can use a 10-key keyboard to help me out. But I also have access, you see here, to the Apple keyboard. And the thing is, once you start using the Apple keyboard, you then have the ability to get to any other keyboards that are attached. So here's that keyboard again. And now I've got that one for me. I feel like I am getting closer. Oh. And that word got flagged for me here. I am getting. And I have to watch, does it predict a space for me or not? Closer and closer to an arrangement that will work. Work for me. And now that I've got that there, it's saying, hey, you know, you were using a keyboard here that's an Apple keyboard, and maybe you don't want to do that. So, okay, fine, I'll go back and I'll stick with their keyboard and give it a little bit more of a try here. And now I want to finally say my sentence.
Type things here. I feel like I am getting closer and closer to an arrangement that will work for me.
And I think what I'm trying to say about this is you have incredible flexibility to personalize this, and I haven't even gotten into all the different things that you might want to save as part of this. But let's talk about a few other little quick features here. One is down in the lower right, you see the little phone shaking here. That's actually a floor holder, so it's a way of me telling people to wait. And I haven't selected a floor holder phrase, so I'm going to have to go in and do that. And we'll go in and I'm going to get my floor holder phrase here for a moment. And that comes up in, gotta remember, can't remember why I lost my floor holder. Let's find that. There it is. So here's my floor holder, and I'm going to select Please Bear With Me while I use Predictable to speak. I can also select more than one of these, and they'll cycle through each time.
Please wait a minute. Please wait a minute.
And I might use different ones each time.
Please wait a minute.
So that's a spot where I can use my floor holder space, and I could add something else each time. Oh, it's because I didn't have my automatic one. Or I can turn that off, or I can go to both. So automatic is selected sentences according to duration selected when typing. So if I go with something longer, it gives me the longer phrase here. All right, so there's that. I've also got some little emotions here that I can kind of make. And let's see. And I get and then some that are maybe obnoxious or just outright creepy.
Oh.
But the idea is you could emote somehow. And with some of these, I've got to say, when I worked with adults in a long-term care facility, this particular app wasn't available, but I could definitely, I know that some of these other more colorful things were things that went on there. And you can even add your own kinds of things to this. You've got a range of speech options, including Model Talker, which would be where I could import my own voice here, save my voice, create sort of a personalized one. If we were in a message banking situation, that could be really amazing. I've also got a number of different predictable voices. Acapella is another kind of speech synthesizer that you could use. You've got a number of different languages, so incredible variety there. Accessibility, we saw already with my floor hold. And on this, you've also got things like switch access. And notice that it's saying, hey, do you want to use the built-in predictable switch access, or do you want to use the one that's built into iOS? And you'd choose predictable if you really spend most of your time just within the predictable app. But if you're scanning and you want access to things and to continue scanning outside of predictable and do things like YouTube or something else, another app that you really enjoy, then you want your scanning to be able to give you access to the whole system. All right, auditory support for individuals who have low vision, that's really helpful. Layout is something where you can really customize the look and appearance of your app. We talked about keyboard already. You've got a user that backs up all of your settings, all of your stored phrases, so that you could quickly port that over to a new app. And you've got head tracking down here on the bottom, and head tracking is kind of neat. You actually can, if you work with this, you can, and you have the right device. Notice they need to be a little more advanced than the one I'm currently working on, because they need a special camera to do that. But it actually will, in a fairly good way, track your head movement and puts a little cursor up on the screen, and then will work not quite like the cursor looks a little like eye gaze, but it's actually just tracking the movement of your head. So you have to have the iPads fairly still and have your head in a pretty consistent location, but it actually does work. And you can see they've got a little YouTube video there about it. So tons of flexibility with Predictable, lots of possibilities for what you can do. And one other thing I didn't mention is the sharing functions that you have, including copying or sharing to Twitter, other places. Lots of amazing possibilities here with the Predictable app. And so for something where you've got a lot of customization needed and you want to do some voice banking, you even want to have the capability to work not only with writing, because we've got that possibility. You can look things up here that you might want to do something with, and we've even got a symbol-based kind of set of things that you may want some setup with some phrases that you may want to have quick access to, and you use symbols to access those phrases that you could quickly retrieve. So we got some nice message acceleration as well. So it's not solely typing based sort of system. So yeah, these symbols up here really giving you some nice power. All right, so if this is you,
I'm bored.
then it's probably time to end this video. So thanks so much, and hope you enjoyed learning about the Predictable app.